It's another episode of From, and it's another death. And once again, it is not the monsters causing them. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. And we are here to review Season 1, Episode 5 of From. Once we're done with today's episode, it will be officially the halfway mark of Season 1. Halfway through, guys. Second half to go. But begin episode 5 called Silhouettes with the aftermath of the seizure that Sarah was on the receiving end of last time in the diner. She is in the clinic now, being looked after by Christy. We have Boyd checking up on her as well. She insists that she's fine though, and she asks for Nathan not to see her. Boyd then sees Nathan when he's leaving the clinic and makes up an excuse for Nathan not to go and see her. Boyd says, look, it's Christy's first night back at the clinic, and you know, after what happened last time with the whole talisman thing and the monsters getting inside and killing members in the clinic, maybe it's best that you don't go in and freak her out. And then Nathan reluctantly agrees to come back in the morning. So I felt like the way Sarah was like portraying this is almost like if Nathan's being bad to her, or he was like the one to bring on the seizures. It was almost like she didn't want to see him, and that maybe he was the one causing her to be unwell here.
Yeah, he's being painted in a bad light, and even when Boyd's treating him, he's like, nah, how dare you think you're allowed to see your sister here?
Hey, where do you think you're going, Nathan?
Where do you think you're going, buddy? You're not allowed to look at your sister.
You better do a 180 there, Nathan, boy.
I hope you don't make it out this episode, boy.
So yeah, Nathan goes home. We then go back inside the Matthews family's house. They're asking questions, and they are writing on the walls about their current situation.
The writings on the wall.
Jim thinks if they write things down and if they ask questions, then it will help possibly figure out where they are and maybe get them home. I think that's a good idea. I know at the time you said that's dumb, but I mean,
it's not dumb. But
if you don't ask questions,
I think the entire community should be coming together.
Yeah, what I would argue is I think you're right. I mean, I don't really think there's much point Jim, Tabitha, and some wee child asking each other questions because they all had the same experience. Should it not be everyone else that arrived there at different times? Should they not be asking questions? I just don't really see what Jim and Tabitha are going to learn, considering that they've had the same.
Yeah, if I'm going to be critical, I feel like that everyone should, but then again, right, you've got the colony house, they're all weird, and I think they're all just content living in this world because they're, you know, liberals. But back in the time where the Republicans live, brother, we want to escape, we want to get back to MAGA 2020, so I feel like you're beginning to see Boyd even like look at the board and go, here, I'm going to try and look for ways out of here. You've Jade running about looking for ways, albeit him and the Matthews family are new to this scenario. But yeah, I feel like it is, you need people to discuss it. You're like you said, you can't just have this family literally discuss it, because if people are coming from all walks of life and all like for different years, different settings, blah blah, this, that, and the fourth, you need more people than just this family. And yeah, again, I think it was stupid writing it on the wall, but I guess we don't really have sheets of A4 paper, so the wall will do.
Well, I think they do have loads of paper, to be honest.
But the wall was a cool action scene.
Yeah, well, the wall, it stays there. Paper, you can lose it. A wall, it's better because you're always constantly looking at it.
Fair enough, but
so I think the wall makes more sense.
Again, this could drive you insane. 10 years into writing, you fuck out. There's no space.
Well, I don't.
Walls are going to run out.
I think Jim's hoping that in 10 years they're not there.
And I think it was just done for the big reveal of did we die in the crash? If she wrote it in like fucking small print on a bit of paper, the camera would have had the break just zooming in on it.
Yeah, in the clinic, we have Sarah asking Christy, if you had to do one awful thing and it got to get everybody home, would you do it? And like, I thought this was very obvious here that she is there's something wrong with Sarah, and Christy's like, of course, yeah, if it meant I could get home and if it meant I could save these people, then I'd be willing to do anything. And I think this gives Sarah the green light in her head. Okay, then
James gave the green light, brother.
I am going to kill this child. The next day, when the sun is up, Nathan approaches Sarah and he wants to see how she is, but she's been very, like, I don't know, very distant and, like, I don't know, reluctant to really engage with any sort of conversation, and she decides she's going to head to the Matthews house.
She's got one mission, and one mission only. Kill the little boy.
With a scalpel that she stole from the clinic. Fatima and Ellis, they take Julie to this hidden lake to show her the fun parts of town. It's basically like a swamp It's like, alright, maybe it's a bit cleaner than a swamp, but still, it's not...
Right, it's a wee pier that you can run and jump off. But these two are groomers. This is just fucking weird. I don't care what anybody says, you're talking pish. See every scene that these are in? It is weird.
Aye.
Honestly, it creeps me out every scene that she is in with these two. Maybe not. What's the other guy? Ellis? I don't think he's as bad. But Fatima, she is sex offender number one.
Yeah, because, straight away, after barely getting to know her, like
every scene is hands-on. It's always touching. Here you go.
When she first meets her, she saves... You think that... See, when she first meets Julie, you think that she is saving Julie from the sex offender. But that's just Victor looking for peaches.
It's just which sex offender's going to get Julie.
Then she takes her upstairs and she's like holding her and going, oh, look out there. And then she takes her to Ellis's bedroom where the guy's fucking getting undressed for bed. And she's obviously left Julie in that room, which is a bit weird, like a 16-year-old girl or whatever age she is being in the room of a guy that's in his 20s or whatever. That's a bit strange. And then they barely even know her, and the next day when she decides she's going to stay at the colony house, Fatima makes her a room inside their bedroom, and it's like they've got this underage child that's going to be sleeping in their bedroom while they are sleeping in a bed that is literally
15 feet away from them.
Yeah. And then we see her, they take her to this pool lake place where it just involves taking clothes off to jump in the pool, which is weird. Plus, we did see, and I don't know if anyone caught it, but we did see him, was it in episode 4? Yeah, I believe it was episode 4. When Jade was leaving the colony house, you literally seen two people in daylight before he stole the bike off the big fat woman. There was two people having sex in the colony house, which I did not notice until I got it pointed out to me. But there's two people that were in the background having sex in the middle of the day in the open in this colony house.
Outside or in the house?
In the house. And to me, they were. This is crazy. That
wasn't episode. There wasn't. Well, maybe it's
episode 4.
Maybe it's two different scenarios. But there was when the Matthews family woke up. There was another scene like that. That must have been episode 3.
Maybe that was
back-to-back episodes in.
Yeah, and I just don't think I honestly don't know how Jim is allowed his daughter to stay in this house.
It's Jim.
He's a weak man.
He's a left-sided man.
We see Jade wandering around town with a radio. Wynn picks up at the bar. He's trying to figure out where they are. He speaks to I can't remember who's the guy, the bartender. What's he called?
I don't know, but he's not very smart. He's pretty low IQ. He's made...
Well, actually, no, he turns out he is pretty smart, and he used to be a teacher. But Jade was kind of talking down to him as if he didn't know shit.
Well, I don't know. When it came to electronics, man, maybe he gets sent here in the 50s.
And then they're using some analogy about a cat in the box.
And that makes Jade figure out, hold on.
If no one looks inside the box, if we can't go outside the box, they're not going to know if the cat's still alive or if the cat's dead, so they're not going to show any interest in if the cat in the... I didn't really get it, but
the cat... It was more of, if the cat moves or tries to make movement, they'll know about it. Therefore, if I get this radio to work...
They'll look for us.
Aye.
Yeah, basically
right,
that's...
But see the radio plan? That's all good, but... If you just always end up back here, what's a search and rescue? Obviously, you're going to try and get ways out of here. But if we're talking about how you're going to get out of here or how people's going to help you, how are they going to get to you?
I think that's something you figure out later on. I think you just try and get some sort of communication to the outside world first.
So do you think it's a situation of, right, we get people outside and they're like, oh, we figured out your coordinates, and it's... Well, what if the coordinates don't match up with any place on Earth and it's just in fucking hyperspace?
Well, how would they even know their coordinates?
Try and track the transmission.
What if it can't be tracked?
That's what I'm saying. Hyperspace.
Yeah, we don't know.
How do we get to them?
But again, wouldn't it be a breakthrough first if they could actually get something like that to work? If they could communicate with someone outside the town?
Of course.
That would be the first step, I think.
With the hallucinations and hearing voices, maybe you'll just pretend. Maybe you'll hear a voice that ain't there. False hope.
Yeah, we get to see Nathan. He's searching for Fowler Cartry. He wants, I guess, to confide in Fowler Cartry. He's worried about Sarah. Boyd goes and speaks to his wife, and he lets his wife know what's happening. He discusses his disease. We see his arm. He's getting the shake in his hand. So we get a feeling here that Boyd is potentially not doing too good. And Boyd's the last member of this ship that we want to go down. Boyd goes down, everybody goes down, I think.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty big reveal that the main character who's got something wrong with him. Of course, we don't find out what it is until a later date, but something pretty serious, and it's going to be interesting to see how long this show goes on for.
Boyd asks for a sign, discusses the emergence of his hand tremor, and he tells her that he thinks he has an idea that could get everyone home, but he explains that if his idea fails, then it will leave everyone worse off. So basically what he is saying here, I believe, is that he has got an idea to try and save everyone and get everyone home, but however, if his idea fails, it's probably going to result in the death of him, which will leave the town worse off and everybody worse off in it. Nathan then eventually finds Father Cattry and presumably confesses to him what Sarah told him. So now that Father Cattry knows, Father Cattry is like, okay, you confided in me, so I have to keep it a secret. I have to keep this among us. However, he's going to help him anyway. He's going to go and find Sarah and try and keep everyone safe for Sarah, because Sarah's already proven that she is a danger. Now, I don't think anybody really knows that she's going to kill the boy. No one can know that. But that is Sarah's game plan here. That is her goal.
That's her mission.
And after her visiting the Matthews house earlier, she takes Ethan to the farm to check on the animals. But of course, Ethan's mum wants to come with him.
No wonder, though. She's like, oh, I'll just take him. It's all right. It would have been very poor if Jim and Tabitha just agreed to let her go.
Yeah, but that didn't happen. Tabitha went with them to visit the barn animals. Sarah then tells Tabitha there's hiding places all over the town in case you are left outside at night when the monsters come. And she's like, oh, there's one inside the barn that I can show you if you want. Tabitha's like, yeah, okay, sure. I guess that'll help me. Maybe one night if we're trapped outside, we can use this hiding spot. But when Sarah goes to show her it, Sarah locks Tabitha inside the hiding place and then just locks the door with like a big broom handle sort of thing. She just like puts it across the lock, so therefore the door cannot be opened, and Tabitha is stuck inside this hiding place wondering why the hell did Sarah lock me in here. Then Sarah approaches Ethan with her scalpel behind her. She says, look Ethan, you're a nice kid, I like you, and what comes next isn't personal. I'm sorry I have to do this, but let me tell you that you are going to save everybody. Everybody is going to get to go home because of you. But before Sarah can do anything with the scalpel, Nathan, her brother, shows up. This kind of distracts Sarah, and then little Ethan, he kicks her in the shins and then runs off. Sarah goes to give chase, but Nathan grabs her from behind, preventing her from going after the little boy. But then when she tries to break free,
Nathan gets caught in the throat, in the jugular. A big deep slash. Good night. Nathan is choking on his blood. It is cheery bye to Nathan. Pretty deep wound this. Ethan runs off, doesn't really know about this, and then he's about to get groomed because Ethan has ran in to Ellis, Fatima, and Julie. Oh, what's wrong, Ethan? What's wrong? And then Big Father steps up. He's like, what the fuck is going on here? He didn't actually swear, but that's what happened. He gives chase to Sarah, we're presumed to think. And do you not feel that this whole scenario with the Matthews family where one of their kids is in danger has happened like in every episode?
Yeah, maybe Jim and Tabitha need to keep a closer eye on Ethan. Maybe they could just lock him in the basement and then he will be okay. As they go back to their house, though, Jim is not taking this lying down. He confronts Father Cattry and Boyd, and he wants to know what's going to be done about Sarah. Father Cattry says he tried to run after her, but he couldn't keep up and she went into the woods. Jim says he wants this handled, and what are they going to do about it? Boyd says, well, if she comes back before nightfall, then we'll handle it. And then Jim's like, well, if she doesn't. And then Boyd's like, well, if she doesn't, then it's handled. And I like this. I thought this was a good...
Very good line, but was the obvious not there, Jim?
Yeah.
If she doesn't come back and she's out there...
I mean, what do you think happens?
You saw what happened to Frank.
What do you think happens, Jim, you fucking moron? No wonder Ethan gets in so much danger with this guy's father.
Why did you write it on the wall, Jim? What happens to her if she don't come back, Jim?
Then Jim is like not happy. He's, you pretend this is like one big happy family, and then he storms off, and it's like, you know what, Jim? Why don't you stand your ground instead of storming off? What do you want? What do you want them to do? Right? This woman tried to kill you. I get that, but she's literally just killed her brother. So I mean, it's not like he's not really winning. It's like it's a shit situation. But I mean, we've seen people die since Jim arrived. I mean, Ethan's going to survive, you know what I mean? So I don't understand what his problem is here.
He's like, what are you going to do about it? Why don't you put matters into your own hand, Jim? If she comes back, you fucking deal with it.
Yeah, I'm sure if she comes back, then she'll go in the box, but right now she's not there, so what do you want to do? It's approaching nightfall. Do you want Boyd and Father Catry to run out to the woods?
I mean, I don't mind Jim, but I feel like he's just a bit bitchy, isn't he? He's not a man.
He's not a man. He then goes back to the house, and Tabitha tells Julie to go play with Ethan. She's going to read him a story from his Demo Gordon, whatever it is, Stranger Things book. Tabitha then asks for a pen, and she goes, I've got a question. And she writes on the wall, did we survive the crash? I get it. I think they're trying to make this out to be some sort of big question. Oh, this is a big scenario. Is this a possibility? It's like, I mean, let's be real. Even if they didn't survive the crash, they're still in the same situation. It doesn't really change anything. It's still
as if they're alive.
Yeah. So even if this is some sort of afterlife, I mean, purgatory, like, you're still there, so it doesn't really change.
Unless they all came in agreement and went,
let's just all kill ourselves.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but I mean...
But also, I mean, the evidence, they were already going around in circles, ended up in the same location.
Yeah, the creepy...
evidence points to you were already there.
Yeah, the creepy shit. And they already reached the town before the crash. So...
This just seemed like a big forced dramatic reveal about, holy fuck, she thinks that we're dead. Rather than, hey, there's no chance this could actually be.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe this is a question that could have been asked earlier.
I think it would have been better if Ethan wrote this, because he's a kid and can't really think.
But then you could argue that's too complicated for him to think, no? That's like thinking about...
Hold on, he's actually thinking about stuff with the pedo guy with the lunchbox. Jim's fucking writing on the walls about what he's going to have at the diner.
I don't think we've seen Victor in this episode.
No, we didn't.
Obviously no one made him his packed lunch. He was lunchless today. He wasn't packed and loaded and ready to go. He's on the run. He's hiding for Jim.
He's hiding for Jim.
Probably hiding in the faraway tree. Then we go back to the diner, and Boyd is reassuring Christy that none of this is her fault. Christy feels guilty. She believes that she has essentially got Nathan killed, and that she could have got the boy killed because Sarah was basically last night confessing her intentions to Christy, but Christy never caught on. And when you look back, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that Sarah was asking really, really weird questions about doing something bad, and it's like, why would you randomly bring that? You just don't bring that up
unless you're going to do something bad, and that's exactly what she did.
That would be like someone saying, "Do you think if you touch kids, it's bad?"
Exactly. I think it's very bad.
Do you know what I mean? It's like Ask
Fatima that one.
It was a weird question. And then Boyd's like, look, it wasn't your fault. You weren't to know that Sarah was going to go crazy and do this and do that. And then as they are talking, the jukebox comes on at the table. And we've seen this a few times where the jukebox in the diner just randomly comes on. I wonder if that means anything.
I think it does. It's to do with the electricity because the lights go on and off just like a jukebox. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Cause
it obviously means something to Boyd though, because he starts getting happy and Christy's like, what's wrong? And he's like, I think I just got my sign. Because earlier when he was visiting his wife's gravestone, he said he wanted a sign from her to speak to him, and he took this jukebox coming on as a sign.
See, was it to do with the lyrics of the song, or was it just to do with like an imaginary light bulb as the jukebox?
I would need to go back and listen to the lyrics of the songs. I didn't quite catch.
My father.
It just
the little boy.
It sounded like some song from the 60s, and I wasn't really listening to the lyrics. But I mean, who knows? Maybe there was something there, or maybe it could just be the fact the jukebox came on that gave him his sign. Bit random, if you ask me. But
I need to go kill all these kids.
But anyway, guys, that was the end of the episode. That is the end of Silhouettes. And what are you rating it?
I'm going to give it a 7.
A 7? I'll get a 6.
6? You thought it was bad?
That's a 6 bad.
Oh, well, you thought it was below what the rest of the show has been, so the weakest episode for you?
No, I gave the last episode a 6.
So you think the show's fucking nosediving?
I think 6 is a good rating.
Or do you feel like with the midway point, so things just have to be a bit...
I think in a 10 episode season, I think you're always going to slow things down in the middle episodes.
Yep. Well, yeah.
You're going to start strong, then you're going to slow things down.
And you're going to finish strong.
Now, the only time that's not acceptable is the final ride, Mayans MC Season 5, when you've got so much story to tell and every episode needs to be a banger. And if you want to see Mayans content, then you're on the right channel. Just click Fog Entertainment, click that subscribe button, because we offer daily Mayans content. But if you're here for From, then you're going to get loads of theories as well. Season 2 is currently out. We're trying to catch up as quick as we can. We're rating this episode a 6.5 out of 10. But let us know your ratings down below and let us know what you think is in store for the rest of Season 1. And if you want to let us your opinion on Season 2, then feel free. But no spoilers, guys, because we're still on Season 1. That is where we're going to end things here. We say goodbye to Nathan. He does not make it out of the first half of Season 1. Now we move into the second half of Season 1. And who knows, will we do death predictions?
He's a bit of nothing character, Nathan, wasn't he? He was just her brother.
You know, I actually got some weird sort of like incest kind of feeling. I don't know if you got that, or am I just making this up?
Kinda, but I think it was just more that she's weird and therefore he's blood related, so he's also fucking weird.
I got incest feeling, but yeah, at least he's dead, so there can be no incest unless she digs up the body, and that'd be even worse than incest.
That's just quite weird.
Yeah, that would make it very weird. Anyway, guys, 6.5 out of 10. We'll catch you in the next one. Until then, thanks for watching, and peace.